So presumably then, when things get better, I mean, generally and globally, you're in a better position than most to get back into operations nearly 100% much quicker than your competitors?
Well, in a way, well, this sometimes, the size can be advantage. Either it's smaller or bigger size. So in this case of crisis, I think size being medium to small organizations, it is definitely advantage. For example, when it comes to the network, as soon as India subcontinent will be open fully and the region, that will already consist almost 80% of our network, not capacity, but of our network from pre-COVID situation. So in this matter, being smaller size, we expect to get back to the normal in that sense much quicker than the competition. The aircrafts are parked, the aircrafts are ready. We didn't have to lay out also staff in a number. We just did some measures like non-renewal of certain contracts for operational staff, but we didn't have to take still these drastic measures like unfortunately, of course, some of the competitors in the region.
We all know that there's going to be some level of social distancing, and also that's currently in place. You also mentioned earlier that you're already cleaning the planes and making sure everything is crystal clean, which is lovely. But how much of that is then going to carry on into the future after we get past this crisis?
I mean, for a start, we are monitoring the constant changings to the airline industry and working closer with all legislative authorities, starting from civil aviation authorities, IASA, IOSA, so ICAO recommendations as well, to incorporate all these updates to the new way of travel. I mean, for sure, we're all talking about the new normal. The new normal will probably include some of the aspects of our behavior today, for sure, when it comes to the meeting, for sure, of course. I mean, we see that things works, I don't think it will ever be replaced fully, social face-to-face meetings, especially when it comes to some contracts or preparing the contract of strategic importance for the company. But we will definitely keep it. It also depends, of course, on the level, how fast we will find a cure or vaccine and how that will be effective. I find maybe simply some private comment. I'm not, of course, the expert, but the announcements like in the winter, in the September or whatever, we will have already a cure, vaccine. It's very responsible, because there is, even if you have today something, there is a clinical testing, and I did chat with some of my friends who are really, some of them leading scientists in the field, and it takes time. It really takes time. If we are lucky, to summarize what I think, if we get something before next summer, it will be really, really good. We will be extremely lucky, and hopefully that mutation of the virus will not go, into direction of strengthening it rather than getting weaker. So this is something that probably will stay in a post-COVID. Post-COVID era.
Okay. And how are you dealing with your clients at the moment, your customers during this crisis? Are you actually learning new things because of this that you'll be able to implement going forward?
We are keeping our customers aware, definitely, of our changes. We created a special page on the website with all the details of all updates and changes related to the COVID-19 situation. We have launched a campaign, of course, I mentioned before, of waiving certain charges, give passengers flexibility, basically, to plan their travel whenever they see it fits in the future after this situation is over. Passenger also, for us, it's important that they must feel secured, and that's why we implement all this, methods like disinfection of practices on board to make safer environment for all. And but coming, we definitely it's top priority as always. As before was the safety, now we add just healthy. This is the categories. There is no compromise when it comes to airline business, because There will be people that will need to travel. There will be, and certain segments will recover definitely sooner than others, like migrant workers. Probably that will recover faster. Visiting friends and relatives as well. Probably leisure will come as the third, and then business travel probably will recover as the last segment to the anywhere near to the numbers of pre-COVID-19 situation.
In your own mind, you touched upon the markets coming back, first of all with migrant travel, then leisure, and then business travel.
Yeah.
What do you think in timescales, wherever possible, that business travel would come back? Year, 18 months? Obviously, it's the premium end and it's where the most margin is. So one would argue the most important.
As discussed before, basically the size will matter. See, in our case, we expect, according to projections we made just recently, basically, but this is something that will be constantly updated, irrespective, of course, in situation and developments. We expect to come back to the figures from 2019, basically pre-COVID crisis figures, in 2 years. So it will be to happen no earlier than 2022.
Right.
This is, of course, this network planning, that we're doing now, basically revising our 5-year plan. So using this opportunity, what happens now to basically, remodify by adding routes that we probably didn't plan initially, playing with frequencies, either less or more, even canceling some routes that were planned back in before pre-COVID situation. So, but what you hear lately, different companies even announced that it will be, no aircraft deliveries this year, next year, depends. So it's very critical situation that affects whole value of chain which relies on airline. We have to not forget, of course, airports, control towers. We have to, of course, there is a leasing companies. So aircraft manufacturers, engine manufacturers. This is all kind of setup that will also, in a way, dictate the rhythm and the speed of recovery of each airline. So it's not enough that we have what we have. This truly global crisis, but also that will be derivated in different factors that will definitely affect speed of recovery of each airline.